My super fun bumper got scratched, the Tesla Model Y got a curb rash on its first trip out, and the Porsche Macan's bumper got damaged and the alignment was all out of whack. Welcome to the world of renting cars, so let's talk about how crazy the last month has been. Now, everything is all well and sound now, the cars are all fixed up, but it's now been 8 months since I've been renting on Turo, so some of these things are bound to happen. I can't blame the Supra on anybody else, that was just my fault, but it's just funny that all three of my cars end up being damaged at the same time. But let's talk about it. So the Tesla Model Y was its first trip out. The renter essentially was just in a parking lot and just rashed the wheels, or I would say curbed the wheels. It's actually a very common thing for a lot of Teslas. If you see Teslas with the 20-inch wheels, a lot of them have curb rash, so it's really easy to do because the tires are so skinny. Compared to the Macan has really thick tires, so those wheels haven't even gotten scratched yet, and I've had that car for a lot longer. It's gone out on a lot more trips, but some of the stuff was just bound to happen, and so this was my first time experiencing it. It's just funny that it would happen to two cars at the same time. So the Tesla Model Y, like I said, it happened. The client told me about it, was very upfront about it, let me know they'll pay for everything. I didn't have to go through any insurance. So I found the nearest shop that I could get the work done and got it done, invoiced the client paid me, everything was well and sound. $300, I didn't miss out on any trips because I had to get it done during the week. So very easy and smooth process. Now the Porsche Macan, on the other hand, that one was a lot trickier. The client took the car out to Tahoe, which is kind of a mountain range where you can go ski and snowboard, which was all well and fine. But when the guest brought the car back, he brought the car back at night. And so while I did take a look at it, I didn't really fully take a look at it. And so I didn't notice that the bumper was damaged. And I didn't go back into the car sometime after. And when I got back into the car, I noticed the alignment was completely out of whack. So when I was holding the steering wheel, if I were going straight, the car would be pulling to the right. So I had to angle the steering wheel just a little bit, and then the car would drive straight, which means the car is misaligned. So guess probably, hit a pothole or something like that. We've been getting hit with crazy rain here in California, and the car was all damaged. That said, because it was at the guest's fault, the guest should have, been charged for the damages, but it was my fault. I didn't check things properly enough, and now I had to come out of pocket to fix that, which ended up being $300. I could have probably found somewhere to get it done for a lot cheaper, but I had to get it done as fast as possible, because the problem with renting out cars is that if your cars are down, then you're not making any money off of them. And so you're missing out on profit, missing out on revenue, and then you don't want to end up in the red. At least these cars need to be paying for themselves. So that's the damage. Good experience with the Tesla Model Y, not so good experience with the Porsche Macan, but everything is fine now. Both cars are out doing their thing. Now, talking about the past month or so really want to speak to January. Revenue for the month of January was about $1,700.50 or something like that. The Tesla brought in a pretty good trip. Revenue during that long trip was about $400. So really the Macan on its own didn't do, it still ended up in the green, but if we factor in depreciation, didn't really do as well. The Tesla is starting to pick up momentum now that we're in February. But really, what I really wanted to talk about is that while we are in this macroeconomic environment, while we are in this slow season, it's been really tough to just make a profit within Turo. A lot of friends that I know that are doing this have told me they have to drastically drop the price on their cars. And looking at my Macan, the Macan would typically be going for $120 a day. I've had to drop that to even $100 a day on the weekend. I've had to offer shorter trips on the weekends, whereas typically I would require people to take 2 or more days with the Macan. Macan is getting like $100 a day on the weekends. During the week, it's even closer to $85, $90 a day. Dropping that price has helped me get the car to go out more, but it really just hasn't been as convenient. Same thing with the Model Y. Model Y is tough in general with Teslas. There's always a lot of Teslas on Turo, but I further had to just drop the price. And so really thinking ahead, I need to find ways to just brainstorm and find ways to make it out of this situation. I don't want to just go into the hot season paying off all the debt that I accrued in the slow season, if you kind of get what I mean. Like knowing that the hot season is coming up, the cars are gonna go out more, but I still wanna be good now. So want to think of ways that I can kind of try to brainstorm how to stay afloat and really get my cars out as much as possible, especially now that I've lowered the mileage restriction to 150 miles a day instead of 200 miles a day, or at least be able to up the price. So a couple ideas that I'm kind of thinking are either just putting more promotion out for the cars, or whether that be promoting on Instagram or even using flyers and things like that, and maybe even pushing more so towards private rentals. When I started doing this, I always knew private rentals was where you can make the most money when you go off the Turo platform and you start to bring things in yourself. So as I have a couple repeat customers now, I think it's time moving into private rentals could give me some more revenue. And at the end of the day, it's really the name of the game: revenue, 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 and then, you know, keeping the cars good and just being able to make profit. So that's what I'm gonna be thinking about really in the coming videos. If you enjoyed this content, please leave it a thumbs up. That lets me know that this is something that is valuable. If you're thinking about starting to rent cars on Turo and kind of want to see what it's like to really just, you're a small business owner. And yeah, please subscribe. It also helps tremendously and lets me know that this is valuable and this is something that I should keep going, especially as we're getting a little bit close to the 1-year anniversary of doing Turo. But yeah, thank you for watching as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.